Before we move on with the business as set out in the order paper, I have an announcement from the Chair. I wanted members of the Assembly to be among the first to know that following a request I have made to Buckingham Palace, I have received the gracious permission of His Majesty the King to retire from the office of Bailiff in October 2025. My last day of presiding over court will be the 17th of October, and I will formally retire 2 days after that. The 17th of October is the anniversary of my swearing in. By that date, I will have had the honour and privilege of being bailiff for exactly 6 years. I've been a Crown officer for over 17 years, and I will be shortly, or less than 2 months short of my 69th birthday. There will be time for appropriate farewells in due course, of course, and I'm looking forward with enormous enthusiasm to my last 12 months in office. But I wanted to make the announcement now to allow an appropriate period for the appointment of my successor and for any other necessary arrangements to be made. Thank you. Anyway, I must confess I was slightly worried about approbation at the news of me going. But I'm going to take it in a somewhat different spirit. Thank you. Anyway, we now move on to the next item of business, and that is a statement to be made by the Chief Minister regarding the States of Jersey Complaints Board report on the Jersey Lifeboat Association suspension. Chief Minister.
Thank you, sir. I want to begin by saying it is extremely regrettable that this matter has been allowed to persist for such a protracted period of time, involving, as it does, the island's volunteer lifeboat organisations, Ports of Jersey and the government. The report of the Jersey Complaints Board provides a detailed account of the procedural and administrative concerns that have been expressed as part of this long-running disagreement and makes clear the strength of feeling of all those who have been involved. Since the events detailed in that report, all parties have made renewed efforts to ensure that there are strong working relationships between all the organisations concerned. A water safety forum group has been reconstituted by Ports of Jersey. It met in May for the first time and includes members of all search and rescue organisations. The aim of that group is to improve communication and create better cohesion, collaboration and understanding across the maritime rescue community. Since taking office in January, I have visited both lifeboat teams at their harbour bases, met their volunteers and toured their vessels. Their dedication to duty is unquestionable, and both teams expressed a desire to move forward positively and collaboratively. So, as all members know, Jersey's maritime environment can present some of the most challenging conditions, and we must not lose sight of that. Our maritime rescue capability is critical to island life, and both the Jersey Lifeboat Association and the RNLI are crewed by some of our most courageous islanders. We all recognise that when it comes to safety of lives at sea, we must ensure there is absolute clarity of understanding between the maritime organisations. Only with that clarity can we maintain the highest standards of governance, transparency and accountability. The government acknowledges the findings of the States of Jersey Complaints Board, and we have carefully considered their 3 recommendations. With respect to communications between the harbour master and minister, we accept that all parties need to have a clear understanding of procedures and responsibilities, both legal and practical. Should roles and requirements need further explanation in order to avoid similar disputes in the future, then further discussions should be undertaken and, if necessary, the Public Service Obligation Agreement with Ports of Jersey could be amended. The Minister for Sustainable Economic Development will continue to meet regularly and as required with the Harbour Master, who reports on a range of maritime activities, including those undertaken by the Jersey Coast Guard. Finally, sir, careful consideration is being given to the recommendation that complaints related to maritime public service obligations should be heard by the Minister. It is critical that alongside ensuring appropriate accountability, conflicts of interest must also be avoided, and the Minister will provide an update in due course. The dedication to duty of all lifeboat teams is unquestionable, and I know all parties share a desire to move forward. As the States of Jersey Complaints Board acknowledges, in its conclusion, progress has been made to ensure the Jersey Lifeboat Association remains a core asset in local search and rescue operations, and I am confident that islanders are well protected in our coastal waters as a result. This series of events has caused much disruption, has persisted for a long period of time, and for that, sir, I am sorry. Given what we have learned from the past and the strong progress that has been made by all involved, I hope we can now move forward in a renewed spirit of cooperation. To those men and women who regularly put their lives at risk to go to sea in the most treacherous conditions to save others, I would re-emphasise my apology. Jersey is extremely grateful and proud of what they do. Thank you, sir.
There is now a period of 15 minutes where questions can be asked of the Chief Minister on any matter relating to the statement just made. Does anyone have any questions of the Chief Minister? Conetapus and Pralad.
Thank you, sir. And I, as a boat owner, am grateful to the Chief Minister for finally getting a grip of this issue, which has been dividing the maritime community for far too many years. And with different chief ministers, dare I say it, have taken a different approach, but finally to get this resolution and get it off the table, if you like, is a great achievement, sir, and I thank the Chief Minister.
Did you have a question?
Would he agree, sir?
Chief Minister.
I would, sir, thank you.
Thank you. Deputy Andrews.
Thank you, sir. There were false allegations made against the Cocq, and of course that was the reason why the Complaints Board investigated the matter. And I want to know whether the Chief Minister is of opinion that those who fabricated certain information about the Cocq have been held to account.
Minister.
Well, sir, I'm reluctant to go back and revisit a lot of the who said this and who said that, sir. I want to draw a line under it, and that is why I have apologised to all involved, sir, and I hope we can move on. Thank you.
Deputy Bailiff.
So I too thank the Chief Minister for his statement, in which he has acknowledged the findings of the panel, including the statement that the suspension of the declared facility status of the Jersey Lifeboat Association was excessive, unjust, and oppressive. Does the Chief Minister agree that it would be conducive to future harmony if ports of Jersey themselves were to acknowledge that mistakes were made and ideally that an apology for the wrong should be made?
Again, so I'm aware of the strength of feeling, and that is why, in my role as Chief Minister, sir, I have apologised. I have apologised on behalf of the government, and I've apologised on behalf of all government organisations involved as far as I am concerned. I don't think there's any profit or anything to gain from revisiting what perhaps should or shouldn't have been done in the past. And to reiterate, sir, I hope we can move on. I'm encouraged by the fact that so much progress has been made now between Ports of Jersey, the Harbour Authority, and the life-saving assets, and things seem to be moving forward in a very positive way. And I'll do everything I can, sir, as this government will, to ensure that continues.
Supplemental question.
So the Chief Minister has been very gracious in issuing his apology. My question was whether he agreed that it would be conducive to future harmony if Ports of Jersey themselves were to issue an apology to the party that they have wronged.
Well, sir, I think whilst the Ports of Jersey is an incorporated an organisation with its own board, it's a matter for them. But if I can speak honestly, sir, if I was a chair or the chief executive of the Ports of Jersey, I would probably be looking to do something along those lines in the interest of moving forward together, sir. But that's a matter for them.
Deputy Cocq.
Thank you. What steps have been taken to address the procedural and administrative concerns raised in the report of the Jersey Complaints Board regarding the suspension of the Jersey Lifeboat Association?
I think, sir, I alluded in the statement, responded to the three recommendations that were made, and if I can refer to the deputy to that.
Supplemental, Deputy.
Yes, please. And how does the government plan to ensure clear understanding of procedures and responsibilities, as well as transparency and accountability among maritime organizations to maintain the highest standards of governance?
That's through the Minister's ongoing relationship with the Harbour Master, sir.
Deputy Joseph.
Thank you, sir. If I may just push the Chief Minister very gently on the point that Deputy Bailiff made. I do think, having lived through this issue, and I welcome the Chief Minister's statement, may I suggest, would he be in agreement? He's sitting next to the Treasury Minister, who's the shareholder representative. Ports of Jersey is somewhat odd because it has two ministerial accountabilities, as he will well know, as the Economic Development Minister. But either way, would he undertake to hold a discussion with the shareholder representative in order to get out of Ports of Jersey a written response at the request of the government to acknowledge the failures and make the apology that the Deputy Bailiff was asking for? There are processes, they are available. He's sitting next to the Minister who's the shareholder representative. He can do it. Is he willing to do so?
Well, sir, I'm certainly happy to discuss the matter with the Treasury Minister, but I want to re-emphasise I really would like a line drawn under this so everybody can move on. And again, sir, the Ports of Jersey, if they have been listening in or listening to public sentiment, will be aware of the public sentiment, and I hope they will act accordingly, sir, in line with the findings of the report, and in the interest of continuing to move forward and build on their relationship.
Supplemental question.
So, just very gently, I think just assuming without a written acceptance of what the Chief Minister said, rightly on behalf of the government and on behalf of the ALOs, on this occasion, due to the severity of the issues, the personality issues, I think that to draw a line in the sand, as he wants to do, and all members should do, that needs to be put in writing on Ports of Jersey headed paper, and it's possible to do so. That will draw a line in the sand. I hope the Chief Minister is in agreement, and I know he can do it.
I'm not sure there was a question there, sir, but
I
Agree to do it and get something in writing.
That's do you agree?
I'll discuss with the shareholder representative and the Treasury Minister, sir, and refer the Deputy to my previous answer.
Deputy Taddy.
Thank you, sir. I welcome the announcement too, but I do ask the Chief Minister if he thinks that episodes like this, which have been protracted, also bearing in mind the wider context and experiences of other frontline services in Jersey, and I think of the two representatives from the ambulance service, whether these kind of incidences both might put off people from standing for fulfilling these frontline service roles if government cannot guarantee their interest when fulfilling these very valuable roles, sir.
Yes.
I think at the time, sir, it was a great disincentive because of the turmoil that had been caused and the uncertainty and the accusations. But I'm encouraged by the progress that has been made since that. Everybody seems to have learned. So I hope, sir, that coming out of that, we will find ourselves in a better position. And I've had two very positive and productive visits with the organisation, and they are positive about the future. So.
Supplemental question, David.
And so would the Chief Minister take this opportunity to emphasise to all of those frontline services, whether they're volunteers, voluntary organisations or paid ones, that as long as when they act in good faith and do their jobs to keep islanders safe, that government and its institutions will have their back?
Well, so I hope I made that clear in my statement, and I wanted to make it clear that this island and this assembly and the government holds all those who volunteer in such a selfless way, that they are held in high esteem and will be supported. Running alongside that, though, is an important duty of care and responsibility between the Minister and the Harbour Authority. And I hope lessons have been learned from what's just happened, sir. So along those grounds, I do agree with the Deputy, and I would urge that all bodies involved continue to build the relationship in the interests of safety at sea. Thank you.
Are there any other questions for the Chief Minister? Deputy Bailiff.
So will the Chief Minister accept a plaudit from me? Too often in the past, Sir, ministers have responded to critical comments from panels under the administrative review law with disagreement or even hostility. And I hope my question for the Chief Minister is whether he will encourage ministers in his Council of Ministers to adopt the same attitude as him in relation to this inquiry, and to accept the criticisms and the comments of the panel, and to do something about them.
And thank you. That's very kind of Deputy Ballash to pay compliments. I'm not used to them, but I'll take it all the same. I thank him for that. I'm very pleased that the Council of Ministers, not just ministers, the assistant ministers, I think we have a very good working relationship and an understanding, and have received a support and guidance when having to make these sort of decisions from fellow ministers. And I would like to think that the actions, or as outlined in the statement today, is not a reflection of me, so it's a reflection of the Council of Ministers. And I feel confident that we collectively will continue to work in this vein, sir, and accept responsibility when we have got things wrong in the past, sir. Not just the government, but the Assembly as well, sir. Thank you.
Supplemental, Deputy Bailiff. Deputy Joseph.
Would the Chief Minister agree with me that the extant state's decision to, building on what Deputy Ballash has said, that in the event, whilst the review panel is rightly treated with disdain sometimes, I think that would be a word that has been said, would he agree that in the event that there would have been an ombudsman that would be professionally capable of moving forward with these matters? He was the Minister for Economic Development over a long period, and this issue continued and continued. And does he see the merit in professionalising, improving the voluntary work of the Complaints Board? And if there would have been an ombudsman, this matter might not have taken this length of time to resolve. Does he agree with that? Because that factors into future planning and lessons learned in a positive way, I hope.
Thank you, sir. I'd not I don't necessarily agree with that because, and we're doing some work now on the Ombudsman, piece of work being led by Deputy Scott on how we develop the complaints procedure. But the statement today and the report related to a complaint that was made earlier this year and dealt with relatively quickly by the complaints panel, and I think they've done well to produce the report that they did. Thank you, sir.
No other member has questions for the Chief Minister. Then I close this period of questions. Very well, we now come on to public business. The first item is the Nationality Act's extension to Jersey, P55, lodged by the Chief Minister. The main respondent will be the Chair of the Children, Education and Home Affairs Scrutiny Panel. I ask the greffier to read the proposition.
The States are asked to decide whether they are of opinion to consent to the extension of various provisions concerning British citizenship, which are contained in the Acts and subordinate legislation of the Parliament of the United Kingdom, set out in the appendices to the proposition, and their subsequent registration in the Royal Court.
Chief Minister.
Sir, Deputy La Hegarau will act as rapporteur for this item. Thank you.
Deputy.
Thank you, sir. This proposition seeks the approval of the States Assembly for the extension to Jersey of UK Acts that deal with matters of British nationality and citizenship. The relevant acts are outlined in the appendices to the proposition. In developing this proposition, feedback has been obtained from the relevant stakeholders, including the Legal Advisory Panel and the Children, Education and Home Affairs Scrutiny Panel. Members will have noted that the Scrutiny Panel have issued its comments on the proposition, and I'm grateful to the panel for their considered review. Further to this process, a decision was taken to remove the Illegal Migration Act nationality provisions which were included in earlier drafts. Members may be aware that this piece of legislation had been considered controversial. I can confirm that what we are left with in the remainder of the nationality provisions in the proposition of the remaining nationality provisions is to address historical anomalies or gaps that had been identified and needed to be fixed. Members will note that this proposition brought by the Chief Minister in accordance with Article 31 of the States of Jersey Law 2005. The key purpose of an Article 31 proposition is to ensure the UK legislation, such as the nationality provisions set out in the proposition, can apply in Jersey only after this Assembly has given its approval to such extension. Article 31 of the States of Jersey Law 2005 acts as a safeguard by ensuring that the Assembly's consent is obtained before any provisions of a UK Act can be registered with the Royal Court. In general, the provisions outlined in the appendices to the proposition are either positive, benign, or historic. The real intent of the proposition is to update our body of nationality legislation so that it is fit for purpose through being aligned with the position in the UK. The various UK acts and subordinate legislation dealing with British nationality can be broken down into two basic groups: Nationality and Border Act 2022, British Nationality Regulation of Past Practice Act 2023, British Nationality Irish Citizens Act 2024. The provisions of these recent acts redress historical anomalies and gaps or preserve rights of people already considered to be British citizens. The second group includes the remainder of the UK nationality legislation as is included, as explained in the accompanying report and scrutiny panel comments, as part of a housekeeping exercise with aims to align Jersey legislation with the UK as far as nationality is concerned. Some of the historic provisions deal with changes that took effect in the UK over the past 22 years. The everyday practical consequences of the alignment that this proposition seeks to achieve is that applications made in Jersey relating to British citizenship and nationality matters will continue to be dealt with in the same way as if they had been made in the UK. This ensures that in Jersey we operate on a level playing field with the UK as far as British citizenship and nationality applications are concerned. This is a matter of good administration, but can also be considered important to ensuring that Jersey remains an attractive destination for foreign national workers who have skills the island needs and for whom the ability to acquire British citizenship on the same terms as the UK may be important. So I make the proposition.
Right. Is the proposition seconded? Does any member wish to speak on the proposition? Deputy Councillor.
Thank you, sir. The panel is grateful for the in-depth briefings it received on this matter, and as the Minister has already stated, all references to the Illegal Migration Act 2023 have been removed from the lodged version of the proposition following a change of government in the UK. The panel is assured that the changes proposed by this proposition and the extension of nationality provisions to Jersey are administrative in nature and do not involve any contentious immigration issues and is supportive of the draft proposition.
Does any other member wish to speak on the proposition? No other member wishes to speak. I close the debate and call upon Deputy Haggarah to respond.
Thank you, sir, and I thank the chair of the panel for her comments, as it is very helpful. And yes, the briefings were useful, and it made it quite explicit as to what this requirement was. So I'm grateful to her, sir. Thank you. Sorry, can I call for the appel, please, sir?
It is called for. I invite members to return to their seats. The vote is on P55. The Nationality Act extends into Jersey. I ask the greffier to open the voting and members to vote. If members have had the opportunity of casting their vote, then I ask the greffier to close the voting. And the proposition has been adopted. 41 votes pour, no votes contre, no abstentions. The next item of public business is the Social Security Medical Appeal Tribunal, appointment of members lodged by the Minister for Social Security, P57. The main respondent will be the chair of the Health and Social Services panel. There's an amendment lodged by the Minister. Do you wish for the matter to be taken as amended, Minister?
Yes, sir.
Do members agree to take the matter as amended? Very well. I ask the greffier to read the proposition as amended.
The States are asked to decide whether they are of opinion to appoint, in accordance with Article 34 of the Social Security Jersey Law 1974, and further to a process overseen by the Jersey Appointments Commission, Dr. Omar Zubair, Dr. Lucy Fleur-Baudin, and Dr. Norman Jadoon, medical practitioners, as members of the Social Security Medical Appeal Tribunal for a term of 5 years.
Minister.
Thank you, sir. I am pleased to propose the appointment of Dr. Omar Zubair, Dr. Lucy Fleur-Baudin, and Dr. Norman Jadoon as 3 new medical practitioners to the Social Security Medical Appeal Tribunal, subject, of course, to the approval of the States Assembly. Members will find summaries of the appointees' backgrounds in the written report, as well as more details about the function of the tribunal itself. The positions were advertised locally, in Guernsey and in the UK through the British Medical Journal. I am satisfied that the recruitment process was carried out in a fair and transparent way and can confirm the Jersey Appointments Commission were involved in the interview process. Sir, I am pleased to make the appointments to the Assembly and make the proposition. Thank you.
Is the proposition seconded? Yes, sir. Does any member wish to speak on the proposition? Bonnet Harbour, St Mary.
Thank you, sir. And first of all, can I say I do support the proposition, and I thank the candidates concerned for allowing their names to go forward. The reason I stand is simply to remind members that back in October 2017, the Jersey Law Commission published its report Improving Administrative Redress in Jersey. Its main recommendation was to recommend the establishment of the Jersey Administrative Appeals Tribunal. One of the main purposes was to transfer to that the ability to hear appeals which currently go to ministers when considering appeals against decisions of their own departments, which cannot be right. But amongst the other functions was that a number of smaller tribunals be effectively extinguished and absorbed by this new JAAT. I simply bring that matter to the attention of members so that they're aware that it is an outstanding recommendation of the Commission. And whilst I obviously appreciate the expertise offered by these people, I would hope that on any transfer that is capable of being transferred. So that is the purpose of my standing, sir.
Thank you very much, Conor. Does any other member wish to speak? No other member? Deputy Joseph.
I wonder whether the Minister, I fully support the process and the observations of the previous speaker. I wonder whether the Minister, in summing up, could just give members an indication of what we're approving these people properly, that's excellent, but what is not contained within the report is just any idea of the scale of work that we're appointing these people for. Does she have any information that could be of assistance by approving these members to give members an indication of how many people they are basically making decisions over whose lives are going to be affected by their decisions?
Does any other member wish to speak? No other member wishes to speak? And I close the debate and call upon the Minister to respond.
Thank you, sir. I thank the Constable for his comments. I'm always in favour of undertaking the most efficient processes as possible. So, of course, where possible, if we could amalgamate such tribunals, I would look at that. But I agree with the Constable. This particular one has quite a lot of specialist expertise that we need to ensure is in place. With reference to Deputy Ozef's question, I don't have the number of cases that the Tribunal looks at on a regular basis in front of me. So I will endeavour to get that information to you and ensure that in future similar propositions we include that information. So I call for the vote.
You call for the appeal? Or a standing
I'm happy
vote?
for a standing vote.
Those in favour of adopting, kindly show. Those against? The proposition is adopted. The next item is the Income Support Medical Appeal Tribunal appointment of members, P58, lodged by the same Minister with the same responder. There's an amendment. Do you wish to take it as amended, Minister?
Yes, I do, sir.
Members agree we can take it as amended. I ask the Greffier to read the proposition as amended.
The States are asked to decide whether they are of opinion to appoint, in accordance with Article 9 of the Income Support Jersey Law 2007, and further to a process overseen by the Jersey Appointments Commission, Dr. Omar Zubair, Dr. Lucy Fleur Baudin, and Dr. Norman Jadoun, medical practitioners, as members of the Income Support Medical Appeal Tribunal for a term of 5 years.
Minister.
Thank you, sir. I'm pleased to propose the appointment of Dr. Omar Zubair, Dr. Lucy Fleur Baudin, and Dr. Nauman Jadoun as 3 new medical practitioners to the Income Support Medical Appeal Tribunal, subject, of course, to the approval of the States Assembly. As with the previous appointments, members will find the summaries of the appointees' backgrounds in the written report, as well as more details about the functions of the tribunal itself. As outlined in the written report, where appropriate, panel members are appointed to other tribunals, ensuring a strong pool available for each tribunal. The recruitment process was the same as the process for the Social Security Medical Appeal Tribunal. Sir, I am pleased to make the appointments to the Assembly and I make the proposition. Thank you.
Proposition seconded? Yes. Any member wish to... Conitava St Mary?
Yes, simply to say so that my comments regarding the previous proposition apply equally here, and I'm sure States members don't wish me to repeat them. Thank you.
Does any other member wish to speak? Deputy Joseph?
So my comments are the same, really. We are basically being asked to approve individuals for a scale of work which is not clear. And I have absolutely no wish to cast any doubt But one of the applicants is a doctor of 2 years standing, I think, and the other one is a much longer one. And I just would like the member, in the interest of transparency and openness, to basically know what we're doing. These are big decisions over lives, and I just raise an eyebrow that there is a doctor of 2 years standing that is making judgments over these seemingly important issues, but we don't know the scale of them. And I hope that I've made my point. Thank you, sir.
Does any other member wish to speak on the proposition? If no other member wishes to speak, then I close the debate and call upon the Minister to respond.
Thank you, sir. In the intervening time, the previous Social Security Minister has given me information that during her 2 years in office in the role, I will endeavour to get the correct information. I think I misheard the previous Social Security Minister. Back to Deputy Ozef's point, I have been assured that the appointment process was fair and transparent and followed all of the Jersey Appointments Commission's rules. I will again undertake to provide further information in future propositions where we are appointing members, but I am assured that the fair, right and proper appointments process was put in place to ensure that we have adequate appointees.
Do you call for a vote?
I do, sir.
Those in favour of adopting kindly show. Those against? This proposition is adopted. That concludes public business, and I call upon the Chair of PPC to propose the arrangements for public business for future meetings.
Thank you, sir. There are presently 9 items listed for the next sitting, scheduled for the 22nd of October 2024. Delivery of the 3 bilingual primary schools P45, draft multinational taxation, global anti-brace erosion, P53, draft multinational corporate income tax, Jersey law, P54, marine spatial plan, draft shipping registration, Jersey amendment regulations, P46, draft family division registrar, change of status and title, draft income support, Jersey amendment regulations, P59, gender pay and income ratio consultation, P64, and public elections, extension of eligibility criteria. Given that there are 9 items, and one of them is the marine spatial plan, I assume that we'll be sitting for at least the Tuesday and the Wednesday, maybe going to Thursday. So I propose the arrangement for business.
Members agree with the proposal for future business? Very well. Business is accepted, and the Assembly stands adjourned until... Yes, sir.
Sorry, sir. Can I just notify yourself and members that I will be out of the island for the next sitting, the Tuesday and Wednesday, attending a close family member's funeral in Wales. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for notifying us of that, Conrad. Very well. The Assembly stands adjourned until 9:30 a.m. on the 22nd of October.